people from all over the world.
Now, was it Chris Wallace?
Chris Wallace, yes.
Chris Wallace, the son of Mike Wallace.
Or it might have been Mike. His dad was a news anchor. The guy I'm thinking of was...
CBS was with 60 Minutes.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Whoever that was. Whichever
that was
Wallace.
Mike Wallace.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay,
yeah, Chris
anyway.
Wallace is his son.
Yeah.
On Fox News.
Oh, he's still in the broadcast business?
Mike is dead.
Yeah, but I meant his son.
Well, Chris anchors their Sunday news program.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
But Mike was interviewing Morgan, and Morgan just said, look, it's just history. That's all it is. And part of our history is slavery. Part of our history is racism. There's no doubt about that. But it's not. It's only current today in the vernacular of today because we continue to make it so. And I see this kind of mentality in all kinds of different things. Take the pandemic. I was going to stay away from this, but just use it as an example. If we stop talking about it, would anybody know about it, care about it 6 months from now? Take immigration. Take any issue you want. And the more you talk about it, the greater the issue it becomes. Right? If you keep it in context, now there are some things that do need to be discussed, like the question, are we at war? Okay, we need to talk about that. If we are, who are we at war with? And what's our end game? Okay, those are important questions. Outside of that, if you have social issues, we have family breakups. Yeah, we do. So what do you want to do about it? Well, I'm not sure the state can do much about it. Those are social issues internally dealt with traditionally religious organizations. Why don't we leave it up to them?
Well, as Denzel Washington said,
yeah,
you can't pass a law to make people love one another.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
And unfortunately, when I say that, there are people that are going to hear it and go, "Oh, you are a racist."
And you know something?
And you know what my answer to that is, Nick? Sticks and stones.
Well,
I don't call me what you want to call me. I happen to know I'm not a racist. The people who around me know I'm not a racist, okay? So, call me what you want to call me. I don't care.
But here's what I think is also important. When somebody says you are a racist, I've found that most of the time, the people who make that comment are, in fact, the ones making race an issue. And doesn't that make them the racist?
Well, and you're sort of circling back to what I was saying originally, and that is exactly that. That's exactly the point.
Yeah.
The point is that when you take a person and you, rather than dealing with that person first and foremost and exclusively as a human being, not a black human being, not a white human being, not a Chinese human being, not an Asian human being, just straightforward a human being. That's where their value is. And when you get beyond that and you look at characteristics that are beyond their control, like the color of their skin or where they were born, or the color of, well, I suppose you could change the color of your hair. But you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If the minute you stray into those things and you differentiate between people, whether you're doing it for good reasons or bad reasons, that's racism as far as I'm concerned. And the more you do it, even for benevolent reasons, the more you perpetuate the problem of racism.
And it's true in so many different fields, like homelessness, right? You can either talk about it or you can deal with it.
There was an interesting episode in the original Star Trek series, and I don't recall the title of the episode, but there were two people who had been, one was being chased by the other for centuries throughout the universe. And one of these guys, the one who was being chased, was black on one side,
right,
and white on the other side.
I remember the episode.
And the person chasing him was the opposite. It was black and white but on different sides.
Right.
And so there's a scene in that series where Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock are talking to the guy who's doing the chasing.
Right.
And they're they don't understand what the issue is, and the depth of the animosity, et cetera, and so they're questioning him about it, and he looks at them as if they're like from a different planet, which they are, of course. It's funny, as I was saying that, I was realizing from a different planet, and then I realized, oh, but they are from different planets. But he looks at them like they're totally stupid. And he says to them, he asks them, well, isn't it obvious? And so Spock looks at him and says, well, the only obvious thing to me is that you're both the same. You're both black and white. And that's when he points out, but I'm black on this side and he's black on the other side. I'm paraphrasing, of course, that's not the exact dialogue. Okay. But the point being that, okay, who cares? It's not an issue. And again, I'm not defending racism here, okay? I think the thing about racism is it's totally stupid as well. I don't know how you outlaw racism, to be honest with you, but I do know that if you're going to make laws against racism, that the only way that you can accomplish that is by having laws that differentiate between human beings on the basis of their race. And again, it may be for positive reasons, but for me, that is the perpetuation of systemic racism.
Yeah.
So the way you have to get over this is to basically, when people talk about things in a racial way, I would just say that's stupid. Like, ridicule it, dismiss it, ignore it. Okay. I don't care if you hate me. I'm Jewish. If you're an anti-Semite, have at it. Fill your boots, right? If you're going to act on that, then the crime you're committing is you're not assaulting me because I'm Jewish. That's not part of the crime, as far as I'm concerned. The crime is you're assaulting me, and I'm a human being.
Right.
And in that respect, we're all equal. We all have an equal responsibility to follow the law and respect the law. And we're all treated equally by the law as well. Not he punched you in the nose, Nick, and he's charged with, assault. He punched me in the nose, and he's charged with assault and a hate crime. I don't buy it.
No, and unfortunately, that's far too common. But again, this goes back to the idea of the desire to segregate people and put them into little boxes, little boxes.
That's a good word to use,
especially in this context, because we know what happens when that happens. It's been all through history, and it's tragic, but it seems to be part of the human condition that some people just cannot get past what another person looks like.
Right, and again, there are a lot of people out there that are genuinely concerned and that want to do the right thing, and they're I call them do-gooders, and perhaps in a bit of an insulting way. But I understand. They see something that's wrong and they want to fix it, but there is no way that you can fix this through legislative means. There's really no way you can fix this if you're going to continue to, as you say, segregate people in your mind because of the color of their skin.
Did you ever see the movie The Elephant Man?
I didn't know.
Okay, it was about a man whose head was hugely deformed.
Right.
And was living on the street in a sack with just eye holes, and somebody took him in and played the Good Samaritan, got him cleaned up and actually got him into polite society. But it was a freak show, and everybody wanted to come and see the freak. And in a way, it was a comment on racism about just how people will, it's the outward appearance that matters far more than the content of his character. The man was brilliant. He could recite poetry. It's a true story. And you can look it up online, the story of the Elephant Man. But just stunning. And as I listen to you talk, it reminds me that these are the same kinds of mental mistakes people make, or mental leaps people make, when they're dealing with people of different colors, different cultures. It's the same thing. It's a black and white story out of Star Trek. This guy looked different. Therefore, he could not be one of us. We'll treat him nice when he's looking at us, but the moment he turns his back, oh, did you see that? Whoa, gives me the willies.
Right. And some of this also, to go back to students and that, some of this it really falls into the category of what George W. Bush described as the soft bigotry of low expectations. That, again, instead of teaching people to deal with stress, we're going to move the stress point. We're going to say no more cops in the school. We're rather than trying to build something positive and have a learning experience, a teaching experience, what we're going to do is we're going to say, well, no, that's stressful, so let's not put the kids through any stress. I don't buy that it's as stressful as these guys are making it out to be, but if it is, my goodness gracious, we better be teaching those kids how to deal with it, because in my view, this is not that stressful, or this is not that big a deal.
People have no idea what real stress is.
And so, I think that removing the cops from these schools for the reasons that have been cited, I think is a terrible mistake.
I think so too.
And I think it really does a great disservice to the kids who are the ones who are supposed to be being helped by the actions of removing these children, the police from these schools.
All right. With that, we'll take a break. For those of you listening on the listening live, we'll be back shortly. And if you're on the podcast, watch for the next one, because it'll be coming out the following day. We'll see you all again on the other side of the top of the hour.